Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So for the past few months, my husband John has been working on putting some steps in that go from our driveway up to the Etsy shop. And I of course filmed most of this process. I thought I'd share it with you guys for those of you that are interested in gardening. I ended up adding some flower beds along the sides, of course, planting some things in there. Everything's still fairly new, but we're pretty much finished with it. I think it turned out great. It's so nice to have steps to go over, instead of walking over the grass or, up the bank there. And it'll be really nice in the winter time, especially with, once we have snow on the ground. It was always hard for me I had to walk all the way around, to get up to the Etsy shop. So I think this will be really handy to have those steps in there. He did such an amazing job with them, as you can soon see. So as I edit this video, I'll probably just throw in some voiceovers, kind of explaining the process as we go. So enjoy. Last fall we had dug a trench from the shop to the septic system, so that still needs to be seeded with grass. We plan to put a curve in the steps. Similar to how the flower bed is curved is what we have in mind at this point. I know I've mentioned this before, but we have a lot of rocks on our property. Pros and cons with that. It's awesome to have them to landscape with, but then of course if you want to dig a hole, you have to deal with them in that way. But in this case, John is looking for nice flat rocks for steps. That's pretty important. In fact, I had even told him, feel free to take any out of the flower beds, even if I used them as stepping stones or just as a decoration in my flower beds, and they're nice and flat, take them. I wanted him to have all kinds of different rocks to work with. And then underneath our deck, John had put a lot of them in years ago, kind of creating a flagstone floor of sorts. And unfortunately, we don't really use this area a lot. It almost seemed wasteful to have them there, not in use, especially now since he needs a lot for these steps. He's just taking some out of that area, and we'll probably just end up putting, pea gravel in there to kind of level it out. I asked John if he has any tips for you guys on how to put steps like this in case you're looking to do a project like this on your own. And he mentioned, of course, you always start at the bottom, and then as you're digging your steps out, just dig them a little bit deeper than what the size of the stone is that you want to put in there, and then put a layer of gravel on the bottom. It's so much easier to get things level with gravel than trying to, use the dirt. And of course, every stone has a different shape. That way it can kind of settle into the gravel like the shape it is, if that makes sense. And then also the gravel that he put into the cracks and the crevices, it works for a couple years, but around here, of course, with any slope, if you have a hard rain, they're bound to wash out some. So it's something that probably needs some maintenance, over the years, maybe just adding some more gravel every couple years just to fill those cracks and crevices. And of course for me, I imagine some moss or some greenery growing into the crevices. I think that would look really neat, and it would probably help with holding the stones in place. And he also mentioned he likes to make so his steps slant just a little bit inward instead of forward or outward, if that makes sense. That way if there's there's bound to be some settling going on over the years, and that way you're not sliding off of your steps, as you step onto them. Finally, the actual steps are in. So excited. I went ahead and sprayed the grass where the flower bed will be. I don't like to do that, but I used a product called Burnout. I think it's supposed to be a little better for the environment than your Roundup would be. So far, I'm liking the shape of it. I can always fine tune it later. John decided to put a few terraces in, which I was really impressed. I would have been fine with, you know, just the steps, but we kind of joked about it. It seemed once he started, he couldn't really stop, but I really like the look of it. And we talked about it. We could even in the future, you know, add some more terraces if we'd want to, especially if the bank in front of the wall would be kind of hard to mow. We could always just turn it into a flower bed. Now the fun part, I went to Lowe's and helped myself to their pretty flowers. I was really impressed with their selection. Found some different ground covers and then also lavender. I got some petunias and a hydrangea. I'll try to put the names of these plants in the video once I have them planted and give the final tour. And Mom was here to help me kind of figure out how we want to arrange everything. She's really good with that sort of thing. Here we are putting a layer of cow manure that's been sitting around for about a year, so it's not terrible smelling, but it's so good for the soil and the plants just love it. I'm going to put a layer of that on, and then eventually a thick layer of the leaf and bark combination mulch that I usually get. Here we are putting grass seeds in. We always like to cover the seeds with straw. It kind of protects them. If it, rains really hard, it doesn't, wash out as much. And it also helps to keep the moisture in. I got these little solar lights from Amazon. I really like them. They seem to be a better quality than some of them that you buy. I'll link them down below in the description box in case you're looking for something like this. Tonight I want to work on kind of finishing this flower bed for now. As a gardener, we're never finished, right? But I do have a few more plants that I want to plant in this bank. One is a hosta I got from my sister, and then also a ground cover, I'm not quite sure of the name. And then I want to clean up this whole area here, clean the pond, kind of get it ready and give you guys a tour of this section then with the new steps. I'm so excited about them. My husband did such a good job with them. I told him he could totally be a professional landscaper. You guys will see then after I show you the final. So I'm looking at the left side of the pond here and thinking, should I get rid of some of the ferns up in here? I don't know, can you guys tell how kind of overgrown it is? I mean, I like that look somewhat, but sometimes I like to see, you know, just some of the stones too. I think I'm going to get up in there and pull some of the Virginia creeper. That might help. And maybe some of the ferns. The hostas I'll just leave be. And then the Solomon seal here. I really like that too. I just leave most of that. Hi. I have an oriole up here in the tree, just singing away. It's not quite his song, it's more like he wants something. And I'm sure you probably can't see him, but now and then through the leaves I can see him. I'm almost wondering if he's trying to let me know that he wants jelly. Or maybe he has young ones and he's not liking pebbles here on the sidewalk. So hopefully this video was an inspiration to you if you have a lot of rocks on your property. Instead of maybe just fighting them all the time, embrace them and put them to use. It's been so much fun. As always, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.